Hello everyone, and today I will be showing you my sleeper. A 2005, I believe, Compaq Presario SR2039X. This thing came factory. The light scribe burner. Of course, we have our specs. I believe it was a single core 64-bit AMD Athlon 64-bit CPU. It had a little over a gig of RAM and a 250 gigabyte hard drive. And this one has the optional card reader, as well as, well, this was not an option. It was just, well, actually it was your version of software you want. Just another dummy panel. All those had that same panel. Anyway, yeah, it has the sticker still on it for XP Media Center Edition, which you had to pay more for that higher version of software instead of like Home Edition or anything like that. Of course, we have our line-in microphone, headphone. It's got the little pretty chrome rings around it as well to show you it's a higher model instead of just the basic green, pink, and blue. It's basically like this. Actually, that one has the chrome ring too. They may have changed it up from 2004 because, again, these are like 2005 or 2006 models. This one only has one sticker left. The rest of them got ripped off. But yeah, this one's pretty good shape too. Same CPU, running the same software. XP Media Center Edition 2005. At least they were. That one over there was. It's kind of broken right now, but this one, yeah, it's pretty much all factory. The shell is in like mint condition. It worked fine. It was just slow, and a lot of the components have been replaced before because it was upgraded, which technically it was. I mean, it had 1 gig of RAM. Then when we picked it up, my brother bought it for 40 bucks about 3 or 4 years ago, and he didn't have a nice computer. This was, halfway decent because it was running 7 at the time on that original 250 gig hard drive and had 4 gigs of RAM in it. It had a better CPU fan. Well, not better, just a replacement to replace the, I would assume, that fried AVC fan. And so, besides that, it had a replacement CMOS battery. I could tell that, which that was dead. But yeah, that was replaced at some point in its life. The power supply, too, is a Seasonic, which is not original. This one should have like a Best Tech or something else. You could even tell they didn't bolt it in right. They drilled like a different hole in the back and mounted it. Or rather, they extended one of the holes on that backing piece to like vent or whatever. Anyway, yeah, it wasn't mounted in right. You could tell somebody switched out the power supply before. So yeah, it worked, and it wasn't in too horrible of condition. It was just mainly just somebody swapping crap out because it was upgrading. And so I actually put guts from a Compaq, or not Compaq, a Gateway that had a lot of problems. Not a lot, but so I pulled it out of a 2009 Gateway DX4300-11. Good computer. It came with AMD Phenom 2 running at 2.5 gigahertz, which is, yes, a quad-core CPU. It's 64-bit. It had 8 gigabytes of RAM from the factory, as well as an integrated, well, not great, but still better than an old NVIDIA integrated card. It had ATI Radeon graphics, which they're actually really good looking. It also has HDMI on the back, which I'm not using at the moment. I have an old VGA monitor. And I put a 750 gigabyte hard drive. The original 1 terabyte that was in that Gateway was missing when I got it. The Gateway was in really bad shape, condition-wise. A lot of scratches, a lot of dings. Not horrid, but, not great. A lot of scratching even on the face of that thing. And it looked okay, mainly just even like brand new. It looked okay styling-wise. But at the same time, the convenience factor, especially if you had the computer sideways, was pretty crappy. Because the way the computer curved up at the top and stuff like that, the power button was like up in here then. You had to like reach up through to press it. And as well as it swerved up, so then the card reader was like this, and you jam a USB, it would like rub here. So sideways in the cabinet, not great. And then, of course, the disk drawer on it, the other one was a bit taller, and so you had to reach up in here and press the button to get the disk drawer to pop out. And this one is nicely on the front. A nice, pretty, relatively square computer, which is good too. as well as a nice easy access front port. Nice range of ports on this thing. Anyway, instead of annoying you guys further, we can go ahead and fire it up. I spent the time to wire in, of course, all the LEDs and everything. Not LEDs. It was pretty simple, actually, just to plug everything in. So besides that, the true problems with the computer, even though it was just beat up and it was even missing that little backing plate that would like pin the the PCI cards or whatever kind of card you're gonna put in there, video card or anything. That little bracket that would pin those in there was gone. I don't know why. The screw was gone too. And even then it was kind of bent up. I'm like, I don't know what happened to that poor thing. It was pretty bent back there on the back part. Not pretty bent. It was just kind of a little bit of bending. It wasn't like somebody scratched it real bad and threw it in the concrete. It was just, for some reason, it was all bent. I mean, it could be bent back. I just didn't bother. And, of course, I took a tin can and made it so it could at least pin the cards in place, which didn't work great. They were always loose. On top of that, the computer had a short. It would actually short out. Well, it was missing the TV tuner card when I got it, and I just grabbed it out of an old Dell. I transferred it in here just in case I ever want to play with it. I had a wireless internet card, which I put in here, only compatible with 7, and I kind of plan to mess around with 7 on here, make it, like a dual boot computer. So yeah, I put it in here just in case for that. And then the original dial-up card, I just left it. Not in this. The Gateway didn't have it, but this one, I just put the original dial-up card in here. I just put it in just because. I mean, seriously, who cares? I didn't really have anywhere else to go with it, so I was like, just throw it in here. And the original guts I put in a box, which barely fit, and that dial-up card wouldn't have fit in the box, so it went in there. Which is, again, fine. Just don't use it. It's not like I needed the port for anything else anyway. And so, of course, I transferred over. Of course, yeah, the board. Here's the problem. The Gateway would short out. I don't know what it was about it. If you bump the side of the thing, it would just glitch out. I made sure before I pulled out the board in the Gateway, I didn't really unhook it or anything. I just pulled it and took a look at it, and everything looked fine. There was nothing back behind it, no big dents or anything that could have been, having the board touching that or anything to, cause it to short. There was nothing like that. And then, of course, I looked at the plug as well on actually, I don't know what I'm saying for the plug. I remember I unhooked it, I pulled it back, I looked back behind it and where it mounted and everything. There didn't seem to be anything where it would short. And so I put it back in and it would still short out. I don't know what was wrong. The problem was it would glitch. If you bump it, the whole screen would just go into this whole big glitchy mess. I don't know, and it wouldn't do anything at that point. And you had to restart the computer, which then again, here we go to our next problem. The power button. It wasn't horrible, but at the same time, if the computer would ever go in sleep mode, it wouldn't want to wake up. And if you ever tried to hard boot it back down, because at that point the computer's frozen when it wouldn't want to wake up. Like the thing would kick on, the light would be glowing on the top of that thing, and the fans would kick on. But you press the space bar and the keyboard would glow, and the bottom of the mouse, the laser wouldn't be on. But the mouse would be glowing like it is now, but for some reason it wouldn't turn the laser on. And you try to kill the computer, you hold that power button, and it wouldn't work. You push down really hard, it'll all of a sudden die like it should, but then it'll just turn right back on like that, and nothing. Like, it's not even like I pressed the power button again. No, I killed it, and it should just not come back. Because all I did was just hold it and kick it off, and all of a sudden it just decides, oh, I'm starting back up. I'm like, I didn't tell you could do that. So there was something messed up in the wiring with the power button. Which, not great, but... So that was a problem. As well as the card reader on that thing was messed up. You push the card in, it would glitch. Or not glitch, it wouldn't work. Or actually, it would be glitching, because you'd go into the My Computer, click on it, and it wouldn't do anything. It seriously wouldn't do anything. It would say that something's corrupted, and then you pull it back, and all of a sudden it would work. And if you barely bump it or touch it, or even sometimes just let it sit there in that weird position, you had it kind of in there just to make it work. No. It'll just glitch out, and you'll lose whatever file you're trying to transfer to your computer. So it wasn't great. But when I transfer it in here, yeah, nothing wrong with the power button. I haven't had any stupid glitches. I bumped the computer. I actually did. I kind of tapped on the side. No glitches, nothing retarded. So I finally got it into a really nice case that doesn't cause anything to short. The power button is still good and everything's fine on this. I prefer the design. I transferred in the nice DVD burner, which, yes, I'm aware it had a light scribe. It's just fine. It's a DVD burner, obviously. But this one had SATA. The other one's IDE. This one has, the board has IDE on it. I just decided to transfer over the original disk drive. Anyway, yeah, everything's wired up. USB, all these cards, they work great. And the computer's really fast as well. Another reason I'll tell you in a minute. I got these wired up, this is wired up, this is wired up, this is wired up, and then this is not wired up because there was no plug for the line in. I don't know why, but there wasn't. Well, actually, the gateway didn't have that on it on the front. It didn't even have FireWire on the front, but it had a port for it. So I hooked it up and it worked. I tried it. I tried all these ports, all of them. And the only one that didn't work was that because, again, I already knew it was unplugged because there was no plug for it. So just the wires was hanging in there. And again, everything works great. I'm really happy with it. I think it looks really cool too inside this old Compaq shell. But yeah, I'm just glad it works nicely. And I hope it holds up real well. Microsoft Windows 10 Pro is what it's running. Some other things I've replaced. Well, the fan went bad as well because I would hear the other fan in the back rev up real high, and sometimes it would work, other times it wouldn't. The main CPU fan, that was very problematic. That fan was bad, and I knew it was a problem with that, but that was not the cause of the failure because when I put the board in here, I didn't have a new fan yet, and so I left it and tried it, and everything seemed to be fine, you know? It didn't have any of those retarded glitches. It didn't overheat or die. The fans would spin up faster and everything, and it would kick back on all of a sudden, you know? Even though it was bad, you could see it would jump around or whatever, and all of a sudden it would finally kind of start to spin and start making noise. But, yeah, it worked, and it worked okay. You know, no glitches, no nothing. So, great. And so I put a new fan in, yeah, now the fans don't spin up very fast at all, which is absolutely spectacular. So I'm super pleased with that. And then, of course, I put a new CMOS battery because that battery was dead. So it's got a new CMOS battery, which, again, I pulled out of another junk computer as well as that fan. I just had to go in the garage and get another crap computer and tear it apart. Literally junk computers I picked up from curbs and stuff. Just tore it apart and put the parts into here to make it all nice. So, awesome, yeah. Let me go ahead and show you future video surprises. I'm not going to show you that. I'm just going to go ahead and cover up my product ID. Windows is activated. I probably just showed it, whatever. Who cares? See? AMD Phenom 2 X4. It's a quad core, it says. 805, 2.5 gigahertz. 8 gigabytes of RAM, 7.75 usable, 64-bit operating system, Windows 10 Pro, and then of course we have, yeah, our other stuff. So again, yeah, great. So I love this little Compaq, man. It's been in the family for a few years now because my brother bought it again, and it was his main PC for a while. I used it as my main PC when he gave it to me, and pretty cool, you know, but I'm kind of glad to see it back in action again. I've always loved the look of it, and it can handle every day-to-day tasks now, which is really nice as well. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.